A few people have been commenting on the comments, continuing to comment, to say that they've heard today that Boris had 102 votes nominations, and somebody else has pointed out that I didn't say that this was a fact. I simply said that I had read in the comments section, and and that you mustn't rely on YouTube for facts. It's not a reliable source. Well, actually, this really isn't true. We can't know what a reliable source is until after the event. There may be all manner of reliable sources, but we test the information we've been given. And when we ask, how do we know that Boris did not have 102 votes, we look at the record. Who could possibly have judged that Boris had 102 votes? Only Boris, really. Only Boris and his little group, and one of those, of course, includes Nadine Dorries. Do we believe everything Nadine Dorries said? Is she some sort of oracle or testimony of truth? No. Both Boris and Nadine Dorries have got the suspicion, the strong suspicion of liar smeared across their names. So we're not necessarily going to believe what they say. So the other idea is that the 1922 committee have confirmed that Boris had 102 votes. Well, that's not likely. Why? Because the 1922 committee was only concerned with those people who had got over that line, and Boris had withdrawn before that was even relevant. So the 1922 committee did not have a record of Boris's 102, or supposedly 102 votes. Guido Fawkes puts it at about 76. Other sources put it at 56. I've heard 62. Well below 102 votes. Now, the absurdity is, if Boris hadn't made this very precise suggestion, then nobody would be bothered. But because Boris made this brag, this boast, this braggadocio, it's so unnecessary. So we're going to sort of start searching and trying to find out what the truth actually is. The truth is, I suspect that he couldn't command the sort of following that he expected. He didn't have the machinery set up. He didn't have the system set up. He came back from the Caribbean and expected everything and everybody to fall in line behind him, and that's not how it works. It's almost as arrogant as Liz Truss. That's saying quite a lot. I think the right person has won. I think he is almost certainly the best person available to take control. And it's now down to people like Boris and Nadine Dorries, if they actually have a shred of honour in them, and I'm beginning seriously to doubt that, to lead the way in establishing union. Instead, Nadine Dorries poodles off to go and do an interview with Boris's sister. She's the lady who was slightly rude when at the last election. Boris's sister to tittle tattle about the fact that Rishi isn't really good enough and we will have to have a general election. Well, I agree we should have a general election, but Nadine Dorries is supposed to be part of the Conservative Party. She's supposed to be reflecting unity. I don't see unity there. What I see is somebody who should lose her job immediately. Somebody who's been accused of lying. And in fact, the evidence seems to be there. She's hurt a lot of people. She should get back to doing something that she can do, and go back to writing. However she manages that, she does it better than being a minister or a parliamentarian. This is someone who demonstrates again and again that she's not worthy of the job, and I'm afraid Boris is fast proving that he is in the same position.